buddy. You run right there.
And good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason here at Signature Sports, and a pleasure it is to have you here live at a charge for the No Toad Racing League. As promised from earlier, we're going to be running some fantastic road course racing. Daytona Road, of course, on the schedule. And of course, I am joined every Sunday night by Kyle Grzech. Kyle, how are you doing? And what are you looking forward to in this race?
I'm just looking forward to some road course racing. Road courses are one of my favorite things to do, especially in the stock cars. Did the Mid-Ohio truck stuff a couple weeks ago. Had a blast with that. Wish I was out there tonight, but get to sit up here and watch some people make some mistakes and learn how to go right tonight.
4 wins on the season so far. Davey Hendricks is going to be your pole sitter tonight. Dustin Barton, the outside pole sitter by 8/100ths of a second. Was just talking about that a moment ago. 77 1,000ths of a second, if you want to be absolutely precise. Terry Brooks in the 023 is going to have Rob Hattenbach in the 98 to his outside on the start of this one. John Campbell, Michael McCuskey, Al Corey, Will Jester is going to make up row number 4.
Starting in 9th is Jason Benson. Behind him is Oliver Turin. I'm showed in 11th. I'm not starting there. We've got Nick Biddy in 12th. We've got John Nodge Crudgley in 13th. We've got Alan Dixon starting in 14th. We've got Gary Sargent, league admin and owner, in 15th. AJ Binish in 16th. John Barton in 17th. Brian Cooper in 18th. In 19th place, we've got James Lawson, who is probably going to start from the pit lane. Marshall Harris and Christopher Harrison are going to join him on the pit lane as well.
Through it, we're going to have some 30 laps here. We're going to have a stage on lap 8, so basically a competition caution, no real stage there. 4 sets of tires, 1 fast repair, 65% fuel, which means it's going to be a short pit kind of race. They're going to have to hit it a couple of times. Lap 8 is going to be a good time to do that. Then about halfway, I'm sure, through that second stage, they might have to come to pit road as well. 3.54 miles in lane. Track temperature is very spicy at 139 degrees. Full send. Green flag racing.
Heading off into turn 1, they got to be very, very careful to kind of slow up and not hit the person in front of them. This is the big concern at these road courses, is just that first corner chaos.
I tell you what, part of the big factor of this racetrack is not just, thank you for the 100 biddies out there, my man, Mr. Dark Horizon. It's not just the fact of getting into turn 1. It's all 12 of these turns. They're running the traditional, or the traditional road course, not the NASCAR road course. With that front stretch chicane is out of the factor here. 0.8 of a second for Davey Hendricks, and spiciness is going to be a big factor for the tires as they get around here, hitting the International Horseshoe on turn 5, coming down that long straight.
Yeah, this setup runs about 17 psi, so those tires are going to be extra worn at the end of these this 8-lap run. I expect kind of early on, when we get that lap 8 caution, we're going to see everyone come down, put some fresh tires on it. The degradation here is kind of excessive.
Very, very fast speeds on especially on the back straightaway, ready for the bus stop. Turn 7 is NASCAR turn 1, and turn 2 onto the back straightaway. What you would normally see in the NASCAR section is we see quite a few people already getting off track and trying to figure out where they're trying to be. 8 and 9 is going to hit into the bus stop here. 10 and 11 to the back. You see the wheel hop from the left side of the 88 as he comes around NASCAR 3 and 4. This is turn 12 onto the front straight.
Yeah, Davey Hendricks has got clear road ahead of him, but we have had some incidents in the back of the pack. We had a decent-sized pileup coming off of turn 6, which leads on to NASCAR 1. We see John Campbell on screen. He was involved in that, along with John Nodge Crutchley. Yeah, a bunch of people involved in that, but we've still got cars up front.
Dustin Barton and Terry Brooks are the closest battle you have going on in the front 3, but they are very close to Hendricks. I mean, we're still looking at that windshield pace. I think that's what, when it comes to driving road courses, I have to drive by windshield pace. So who's in front of me? Who am I going to be able to catch, and am I going to be able to catch them? It does look like McCuskey and Oliver Turin, they're not doing too bad. Ollie was second fastest in practice, and you talked about before the broadcast how Ollie helped join you in the what you said the Rolex. So it was the Rolex 24. Barton involved in something here.
Yeah, John Barton off track. Must have got a little bit hot or spun on the exit there. Just very, very hard, especially if you're trying to get that first gear exit out of the corners. But yeah, Oliver Turin and Michael McCuskey both joined me, as well as John Campbell in the Daytona 24 at the beginning of this year. We did the GT class and the Lamborghini, so a little bit different car. So yeah, not a lot of relative experience, but they've got enough track experience to kind of know the ins and outs of this racetrack.
Tell you what, first time watching the Sunday races. Look forward to a great show. I appreciate you, Rich. You're amazing. He's the reason why I have a hashtag spicy out there, folks. Mike McCuskey in fourth right now. Ollie Turin right behind him. So your two teammates for the Daytona 24 having a pretty decent start so far. They're about 1.92 seconds off of Brooks in front of him. Does look like John Barton just having some kind of an issue trying to keep those tires on there. But Davey Hendrick's fastest lap of the race. Little showcase for this driver. 1.4 in front of Barton as Dustin Barton tries to find some pace. I was talking about John Barton though. He gets off track, comes back on track. Gary Sargent doing the same thing. At least their cars are still clean. These things can still take a beating as we see drivers kind of all over the place. Some drivers are completing a quarter of their second lap. Some drivers are just now finishing that second lap right now as Gary Sargent comes across the start-finish line.
Yeah, we're going to see Gary kind of brake coming in the first corner. He's doing a very, very shallow entry as we see him overcook turn one. It's very, very inviting to kind of send it into that first corner and just send it in there, but you got to make sure you get that car slowed down as we see him get a little bit of rear lock and spin the car out entering.
Kind of, and something that NASCAR drivers have always talked about with these not just the Xfinity cars but in the Cup cars is getting the brakes heated up. In iRacing, Kyle, do you notice that you have to kind of pre-brake yourself here, or do you just need to kind of make sure you have that set before the race?
I think you notice it more in other cars. I don't necessarily think it's too big in the older stock cars. It's definitely a thing in the current gen next gen cars where you got to make sure the brake temperatures are up before they start working well. I think in this Xfinity car, it's all kind of okay with the brakes, to where it's predictable every time what it's going to do, and you don't really have to wait on like a warm-up period. However, I do think it's very important to kind of have the brake bias set correctly, so that you don't have these situations where you have a little bit too much rear lock to where you start getting that rear like axle shake, or I forget what it's called, but where the rear wheels start to bounce, because once that starts to happen, things can get very scary, or the car jumps sideways is what I think happened to Gary Sargent there. But you also want to make sure that you don't have your brakes be too forward to where you're locking up the front tires. You got to find that balance that you're comfortable with.
Will Jester and Nick Biddy battling back and forth. I'm glad I had these cameras set, because I tell you what, that just showed a great little battle. Nick Biddy overtook him, Will Jester on the front straightaway, but they got into turn one. Biddy was a little heavy on the brake, same as what happened to Gary just a moment ago. And you watched Nick Biddy run high. 74 was able to capitalize on that, be heavier into the braking zone, and get himself back around Nick Biddy. So as they work around turn four and look for turn five up here, I think that's exactly that, or I'm sorry, they're getting into the NASCAR turn seven. Sorry about that. You're going to find, I'm watching it backwards over the 74 right now. So sorry, folks. You get into kind of the I can overtake you, but if I overcook myself, I'm going to lose tire wear. I'm going to lose speed. I'm going to lose aggression into the corner. And if you can't find and finesse that drive line, you're going to end up kind of what happened there. Brian Cooper having an issue a moment ago. I think he has kind of settled himself back in. We can go back and take a look. Here's what happened to Brian Cooper as he gets into the bus stop. I think maybe he did. He just, oh, a little right side. Got heavy. What happens whenever that happens there, Kyle? Whenever you come across that exit of that bus stop, what makes you get tight off that corner and come up and smack the wall like that?
Well, it's very, very hard to get the power down here, especially with what gear you might be in. I think with Brian there, kind of watching him enter, you can see the flames shooting out the side. Potentially, I saw it go down 3 times, which means he's. I don't necessarily trust that he went down that many gears, but potentially if he's leaving there in second, he's got a lot of torque, so he's going to be very, very careful with that right foot because its car's just going to be moving back and forth, a lot of weight transfer. And the second that you get that thing into second gear and try to get it off the corner, it's going to want to snap on you anytime that you're putting a little bit over halfway throttle. So he just got a little bit too eager on the throttle there and then hit that curb on the inside. Car started a weight transfer and just started to just get loose and carried himself all the way into the wall.
Ryan Cooper jumped to pits just a moment ago. I was watching Nick Biddy and Will Jester again. Will Jester back to 7th, or back to 8th now where he started. Nick Biddy went ahead and made that pass up 5. Alan Dixon on the move here. The number 33 is going to be up 8 spots from the start of the race. And he's looking like he is cruising. Right now, 154.03. Race leader 152.45. Davey Hendricks, Dustin Barton, currently 153.01. We'll throw up their last lap times on the screen so you can see who's doing what and where and who's going to be able to make up some time. Dark, I appreciate you. Yeah, Kyle does a pretty darn fantastic job. He gets up here on Sundays with me, and I always appreciate that. Daytona Road Course are going to be 25 laps to go. Here at about 3 laps, as you see, Dustin Barton kind of get a little bit free right there. Terry Brooks right behind, so he's going to pick up some pace. 155.64. Brooks picks up 2 seconds almost to the nose on that last lap.
Yeah, Terry Brooks, he runs our 1987 series, and typically when we do road courses, we have kind of a ringer or somebody who's just the like untouchable person at the front of the field. But tonight and in the last 87 race we did on a road course, which was at Okayama, we had myself, Ryan Andrew, and Terry Brooks all within a second of each other for a good majority of the race. I'd say well past halfway. We all 3 of us were in a nose to tail. So Terry Brooks is one of those guys that just knows how to road course race very, very well. Is newer to the league, so kind of exciting to see someone new come out here and potentially could be the person to look out for here later in the race, because Hendrick's out front and he's setting a good pace, but he needs to make sure that he's not wearing out those rear tires and kind of sliding the nose. Just kind of hitting his mark and maybe underdriving his car a little bit would be beneficial to the long-term pace.
Matt Leedy, thank you for the like out there on the stream. I was wrong earlier. I thought I saw 100 biddies. Thank you for the 200 biddies out there. My good friend Rich, I appreciate you very much. Fastest driver on the racetrack right now, the 33. He just ran a second, almost a second faster, about 0.7 of a second faster than. Then he comes around and hits the wall. Tap on the grass right there. That's a typical situation of what happens there. So Alan Dixon with a strong start to the race, gonna have to find himself maybe to pit road early. As I know that the competition caution is going to come up here in about 2 laps.
Yeah, Alan Dixon is one of those guys that, has been around for a long time in NTRL, but he, I think, is the most underrated NTRL road course racer that we have in the league.
And he's going to immediately come to pit road, no doubt get that nose taken care of, regardless if he takes fuel or not. Coming to pit road, get that fast repair that he has. A great idea. He's one of the fast drivers, and so they will stack back up, but how long is he going to be able to hold on to it? Because he doesn't want Davey Hendricks coming back around and lapping him.
We've got a development here. Dustin Barton has spun, hit the wall, and has left the race.
I see the incident. Let's see what happened. Right here on lap 7, 13 here. Gets up and hooks the wall. Oh man, he got free. He touched the grass where the out of turn 1 and where the S's happen in turn 2 and turn 3. And yeah, he touched the grass right there. That's enough to really throw yourself for a loop. Man, oh man. Alan Dixon back out on track. Went ahead and took that fast repair. He's in 15th. And they will be able to get back, stacked back up. Competition caution is going to take a couple laps away from us, folks. But while they do that, it's going to be exciting to see what these drivers are going to be able to do. No doubt fuel and tires are going to be a big thing when it comes to getting onto pit road with the 4 extra sets of tires. It's not really going to matter, I think, on tires today, but I think it does matter when it comes to fuel.
Yeah, fuel is looking at about 13 or maybe a little bit more. It depends on how hard someone's driving in or how aggressive they are with the downshift. So with 13 laps, it's going to be a pretty easy, just one stop in the middle. It's just if you want to go long and kind of overcut and have fresher tires for the end, maybe by just a lap or two, or if you want to undercut just so you're just within the window and you can pit, get those fresh tires and hopefully gain that precious second or so to where you can jump ahead of the person that you've been stuck behind the whole race.
Tell you what, comp caution comes out, and that's going to be on lap with 23 laps to go here. So fantastic opportunity for the field to catch back up. They're going to meet the safety car somewhere around. I think the safety car comes out off of pit road, so we're NASCAR pit road, so that'd be somewhere at turn 7, I do believe. So we'll see if they catch back up. Davey Hendricks leading the field around. Lots of time on a road course is kind of a saving grace if you can wheel it. Yep. Forgive me, had to sneeze. I have my own mute button. It's amazing. All right. Let's see. Terry Brooks is going to be second. McCuskey is going to be third. Oliver Turin's going to be fourth. Nick Biddy in fifth. Will Jester up to sixth. Al Corey behind in seventh. Jason Benson's going to be eighth. AJ Benish. Is it Benish or Benish? Benish? You tell me.
We say Benish.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I hate messing up names. Again, last name here, Followell, and I can't hand it. I hate it. John Campbell on the 117. He's going to be there in 10th. I was looking at that Australian flag, and I was like, I think he would be the guy that I would be rooting for here as well, because our Aussies are pretty darn good at road courses as well. So, at least in my opinion, I'm not trying to stereotype anything, but from my perspective, they really like Road Series racing a lot, and they're big fans of NASCAR as well. John Barton in 68. He's in 11th. Rob Hattenbach is going to be in 12th right now, off 8. Crutchley, right where he started. He's in 13th. He ain't mad. Gary Sargent up 1. And then Barton out of the race. Alan Dixon in the 33 is going to be out of the race as well. Brian Cooper looks to be out as well. So that's a shame. Dixon, it's a shame he left because he still had opportunities here.
Yeah, just looking at the YouTube chat, we have Matt Parasini, driver the number 24 in this league, saying, "Good luck, everyone. You're going to need it tonight. Not going to lie, much happier watching them participating." Yeah, it just kind of comes to that point of just road courses. You either love them or you hate them. And a lot of the people that are out probably aren't a big fan of it and maybe got involved in an accident and think their chances of having a good finish are kind of out. So they just kind of parked it up for the night and decided to go home.
Can't be mad at it. Gotta just enjoy it. So, and the race can turn on a dime. Clearly, we watched it happen. And what I mean, not just by being turned on a dime, the car can turn on a dime at any moment. If you get that tire just too close to the grass, it'll lay you out pretty quickly. Davey Hendricks coming around. He's going to be met up with the pace car, so they'll have one more lap to get on pit road, and then they should go back to green flag racing after that, folks. We'll have, I think, 20 laps to go when we get back to it. So takeaway so far, we've watched drivers be fast on 5 lap or older tires. Best lap of the race, of course, ran by Davey Hendricks, 151.59. What was your fastest lap here?
Oh, I'd like to keep that card close to my chest. I think that's a little egotistical for me to say.
Nah, come on. Have some fun with it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I
I think it's great that you get out there and you have the same setup, and I'm proud of you. You got to. I told you earlier. I had read that you had gotten a win, and was, big congratulations on the race win last week. And then you get out there and you've got some road course experience, and you run a big old fast lap, and I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was. I think it's important to just kind of learn, not just be, just find something in iRacing that you're probably not good at, and just kind of just stick your head in there, have some fun with it, even if you suck with it. Like I'm not good at dirt oval, but I'll stick my head in, do some dirt midget racing. But yeah, we did a just a. I had to edit the setup just because there's some gearing stuff that was going on, and I ran a 48.6, just kind of showing people how to get around and kind of what to look for and kind of what gear to be in, just to kind of help out some of the people who potentially don't do road courses that often. So
See, that's not bragging. What that is that's you showing that you have the skill to be able to be the teacher and leading by example. That's what that is. It's not bragging or showing faith, or showing face or showing your tush or whatever. It is literally saying, "Hey, I know it can be done. Here's how I did it. Now try to go out there and replicate it." That's a good thing. That's called being a good teacher. Hendricks, Brooks, McCuskey, that's going to be your top three leaving pit road. I think we saw fuel and tires for pretty much everybody. See some folks in there getting some damage repair. John Campbell, one of those drivers. Long way around the racetrack as far as pace laps go, so they will be able to not only meet up with the pace car, but have the time just like you would see on super speedways. But the case in point here, there is a chance that they're going to be playing big catch up if they sit too long on pit road.
and depending on the person, they might enjoy kind of having that clean air and just not having anybody around them, especially if they're learning. This is a good opportunity. Maybe if you don't think you have the pace to kind of follow people, just to kind of maybe sit back there, fix some damage that you might have, and just come out maybe 10 or so seconds behind the pack and just kind of ride and try to figure some stuff out, and hopefully learn and capitalize on some attrition.
So always a ton of fun to see, and of course it's great to have everybody out there. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. If you haven't done so, make sure you reach up, hit that like button, hit the share button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. Whatever you're out there doing, do so with the awesomeness that you are. If you're on Facebook, supporter badge or the supporter section is now up and going. Here is current points for the series right now through 7 of 12 events. Davey Hendricks, your current points leader, 4 wins, 6 top 5, 6 top 10s with 7 starts. Only 1 start. He hasn't finished inside the top 10. That's amazing. And he's batting, what is he batting? 65% on the win margin here. That's amazing too. Malarkey, sorry, a little more than that. Malarkey with a win, Benson with a win. Both of those drivers are looking at a fantastic points tightening right there, especially Alan Dixon, who looked to be a strong competitor here. Is going to lose a little bit of those spots based on his finishing here. He could have taken over third today. It doesn't look like that's going to be an option, but Crutchley might have an opportunity himself. Just depends on where he is at on the finishing of this, but he's in fifth in points. And take a look, find your favorite driver out there. That's where they're at. 20 drivers on the list, and that's through our last race. They'll be updated next week. We'll go over that, and it's fantastic. Davey Hendricks going to lead him back to the start-finish line here as they get ready to go back to green flag racing. You watch the safety car drop in. And what is the plan here going forward? Do they split the stage in half, or do they kind of roll with it?
Yeah, you're gonna pit once throughout this, unless you have some accidents. But yeah, I'm expecting to see some people kind of undercutting if they're behind somebody, or just staying out and trying to do an overcut. But big important thing here is to have a clean turn 1, and it looks like they mostly do. This Al Corey gets a little bit wide in the back. Coming through this last section is very, very tricky. Just very, very prone to kind of having the car spin out there, especially if you're running one of those lower gears.
Benson here. I talked about Jason Benson just a moment ago when it comes to points. Well, he needs to have a better day and make sure that he keeps some distance between he and Al Corey, not too far off. There's a 45 off too from the start of the race. Will Jester trying to battle back as well. A little extra time on pit road for him, about a second and a half. Maybe a little nudge there to take his time. Davey Hendricks, Terry Brooks, 1-2. Brooks was getting faster over the course of the last portion of that stint. And he had closed down a 3-second lead to about 1.8 before the stage end right there. Then kind of ran it back to about 2.2 seconds whenever the caution finally came out for that. Where do you have to find pace? Do you run the line that the leader is and you just try to keep pace with him, or find his braking zone? What can he learn from the driver in front of him right now to force Hendricks to try to make a mistake?
I think the biggest thing here is just to not get in over your head, kind of focus on what you're doing, and you know, you can find a break point, but you really need to just focus on like the distance between you and the car, and like how they're reacting to what you're, or not like how they react to you, but how their car is reacting, kind of how far away it gets exiting a corner, or like if you gain in a certain area, kind of where your strengths are. And then also just make sure that you keep the tires underneath of your car, because if you're behind them and then you see that they're, you know, overcooking the corner, they're kind of getting loose off, they're, you know, having all these different, you know, problems, and they're quick. You know that if you just sit there, keep the tires under you, and kind of just stay behind them, that they're just going to come back to you, and you're going to have a much easier pass than you would if you just went for it straight out the gate.
Bottom right of your screen, folks, there's Hendricks' dashboard. So what you're seeing out of that is what gear he's in and how fast he's going. He just ran a 151.37, his fastest lap of the race, and the fastest lap of the race as they come around. Something I noticed about 1 and 2 for Hendricks, whenever he's leaving turn 1, when he's getting in through the S's in 2 and 3, he is much faster and much more of a direct line through that braking zone. Out of 6 here, as they get into NASCAR turn 7, which is 1 and 2, he has a pretty darn clean entrance in there as well. Not very much bobble coming up to the high bank section.
Yeah, he looks to be hugging that inside line, kind of braking a little bit earlier to make sure he gets to that curb and getting off. But going back a little bit, Jason Benson, you saw him on the left side of the screen. If you were paying attention, dropped down. He spun exiting the first horseshoe. So he had some problems, and he is now all the way down in 14th place.
Yeah. Ollie Turn had an issue too. He's got a blown engine, and I'm going to take you back and see what happened there. He's coming out of NASCAR turn 6 here, or out of turn 6, and this is where that can go wrong. You can see if you enter too high, there's no grip up high, and the 46 gets into the double lot 2. And that is unfortunate for both of those drivers. So Haddock's going to have to come back around. Ollie's going to have to come into pit road. He is smoking like something fierce here.
Yeah, hopefully for Ollie, he kept his fast repair there, and he can use it for later for that incident. Yeah, Nick Biddy, talking about him, he last time out that we did a road course, he kind of just showed up out of the ARCA series, and he just had pace. He's someone who's also pretty good on a road course when, you know, he's not having an accident that, you know, he gets involved in. But, yeah, Dawsonville, Georgia, another road course guy out of there. Seems like they got something in the water there.
Davey Hendricks, 151.22 as he taps the grass there a little bit. He's starting to get a little bit more free. You can see it in the exit of the corner.
Yeah, just one of those things, you just got to be careful with that right foot. And then also your gear selection is very, very important on making sure that you can do that. I talk about the gear selection. You see him hold second through that little corner there. He's able to kind of keep the power down more consistently exiting that corner with that second gear, not having all that torque go to the rear tires. But yeah, he was starting to get a little bit squirrely there, so potentially has some tidying up to do.
The grass, and I know that you were getting ready to touch on this, he just does the same thing again. Off tracks give you penalties where you have to give up some time, which means you have to slow down a little bit. not something that he's had to deal with here. But what I look at with with touching the grass, like anything else, when these tires are cooking around this racetrack. We've seen them been set on fire, or when they go and they scuff these tires and scrub these tires in between sets, just in case they need a new set in NASCAR. These things are to the touch, well over 180, 185 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not only enough to blow at any moment because these drivers are on edge, but you go and touch a blade of grass that's just at air temperature. That's a whole different kind of ball game.
Yeah, and just that grass that you talk about is just so tricky when it's just lining kind of this inside section of the track. If you have any moment where you're kind of getting loose and you kind of go wide, specifically through the kink or off of a corner like this where you touch that grass, if you just drop the wheel completely off and you're not kind of preemptively getting ready for the lack of grip, you're going to spin.
Here's your battle for first with Hendricks and Terry Brooks at the bottom. How many spots have been moved? AJ Benish there up 11. John Barton's up 10. As that becomes your 7 drivers within that striking relative right now. I mean, Davey Hendricks right where he's at. And Ollie Turn is the driver he's catching. Ollie, 46.5 seconds. He's trying to make sure that he's got some pace here. His last lap was a 2-minute 20-second lap, but he had to, of course, come to pit road. He's got that car fixed. That's at least impressive there. Nick Biddy did as well. So Nick, with a brand new car, is going to be looking at his pace lap. He came in on 12 himself. So they'll still need to come to pit road, but maybe an opportunity here to kind of lay down some rubber a little bit heavier.
Yeah, he might also find himself in a position potentially with the pit stop to if he can hold pace good enough to stay out. He could lead a lap here if Hendrick has to pit and Biddy can stay out and get in front of him just to get a couple laps led before he has to pit for fuel.
Always a good time, always good strategy, and Biddy about 54 seconds off. Right now, pit lane time is about 59 seconds. On average, we're seeing a minute 2 for most of the drivers. 59 for Davey Hendricks, 59.47 for Terry Brooks. Michael McCuskey had a 59.63. Benish 102.05, 103.43 for Al Corey. Attenbach, it looks like he's off track. Does look like Gary Sargent had an issue, but I think his was mostly a stop as Rob in the 98 goes around. Rob didn't have a hood. He's cooling that thing off with air conditioning. The air is conditioning that breather.
That's odd. You have to kind of hit a certain way for that to happen with the iRacing damage model. You see a little bit of right front damage, but pretty much the rest of the car looks clean.
See if it happened on 12. I've got oh, he did. Hold on. Here he is. He's in that grass. And it did. So he comes around, he boot scoots and boogies, he touches the grass. And that's another thing too. He got into the bus stop right there. He didn't get in at the angle that you need to see yourself at. This was when Biddy was having his issue coming back to pit road. So he gets around, hooks the grass, and you would think the grass would spin your tires out. Well, that didn't happen. It shot him straight. Right now he's behind Gary Sargent. He's keeping pace though. His lap time 1:59.48. Gary Sargent 2 minutes flat pretty much. As we see these drivers try to push more as much as they can. Brooks closest to your race leader right now. Last lap 1:53.71. Davey Hendricks 1:51.83. He's only 0.6 of a second off his pace, and I think he learned something from that first stint.
Yeah, he's definitely being able to stretch out a gap here, but yeah, Terry Brooks is holding steady there right behind him. Later on in the run, you're going to be able to see kind of who is better on their tires. If Brooks starts closing in on Hendricks, I wouldn't think Hendricks is saving tires later in the run, as we see Brooks get way, way loose entering the corner there. Kind of got on the brakes too hard, maybe a little bit too much rear lock, as we see him also getting a little bit loose onto the banking as well. Yeah, behind him, Michael McCuskey is doing a fantastic job, just holding steady there. He did the Daytona 24 with us, had a rookie license. I think the Tuesday before the Friday we signed up for the Daytona 24, had a grind to get all the way up to a C license to be able to compete with us, and was able to do that all in the span of a couple days. So he not a lot of road course experience before then, but seems like he's picked up something from that experience.
And he's picking up the pace as well. He's holding 9 seconds on Brooks. But the big factor here is he's catching Terry Brooks, who's really slowed his pace. Last time by, the drivers ran virtually the same lap. But McCuskey this time looks to be closing the distance. 2:34, 2 minutes, or 2 seconds, 2.3 seconds back is the 22 as they get into turn 1. Watch the 22. He wiggles himself a little bit there, trying to keep that car from breaking loose whenever he's under that braking power. Big drive. He drives around 1 and 2 about the same way that Hendricks does, even though he's losing about he lost about 4/10 of a second over the course of that drive line. I'm seeing the way he enters 1 and 2 very similar to what Hendricks does.
Yeah, he's doing some pretty tidy stuff here. I think he got a little bit wide through the kink there. He's his line coming through, I guess you'd call it turns 3, that little S section, kind of leaving, was very interesting. How he kind of had to let off the gas a little bit to hold it that far left, so he can have a wider arc into that first horseshoe. You see there, kind of just a tiny bit of rear lock potentially entering the corner there. Yeah, he's being pretty tidy with his tires. You see that that wide arc onto the banking is just kind of a thing to not constrict your tires as much and kind of keep the tire temperatures down throughout a run. See him washing up high here. He's going to go into the bus stop. He starts braking at just before that 2 marker. He's going to downshift all before. He's going to overcook the entry just a little bit. He's going to miss that apex, but he's going to get a straight exit off onto the banking. It's very important to get a good exit through that corner, because you've got this long straightaway and banked corner to get through. He is going to be all the way up into 4th gear. He's going to be coming off of the corner, and he's going to be heading into the tri-oval, where he's going to prepare and get ready for his braking into turn 1. He's going to find a brake marker. He's getting off fairly early. He's going to go all the way to the inside line, just kind of going a little bit soft entering, which is good, because that's going to make sure the tires stay underneath you. You see him get a little bit loose off. He's going to shift up. He's going to get tighty all the way here. He's going to brake on the pit exit line, downshift, assuming he's in 2nd gear. He's going to miss the apex a little bit, but he's going to get the drive off the corner. Oh, he's in 1st gear. So he's trying to get pretty aggressive off the corner there. He's going to go 3rd through here. He's going to touch that curb on the inside. He's going to brake kind of midpoint of those cones. He's going to get a fairly wide entrance here, so he can kind of cut towards the bottom. He's going to get pointed off. He's still in 1st gear. All right, shifting to 2nd gear. All right, he's going to brake. He's going to get it all the way down to 1st gear, so he's preferring to kind of get that drive off, and you're going to see like the snappiness that he's going to have to deal with. We're trying to use that 1st gear kind of coming off of these corners.
He's losing a lot of time. Dark Horizon says hoods are overrated. Yes, they are. He's got that super chill. You're absolutely right. Thank you for the 200 biddies again out there, my man. Dark Horizon asked for the ride along, and that's what we're doing.
Be a good time to give a comparison to what Davey Hendricks might be doing, because Davey's going to start heading into the 1st corner. So we get to see what Davey is doing compared to Michael McCuskey.
Here's your I really would. Oh man, he is heavy on the speed. 184 into the corner. Down to 3. He's clutched in, I think, letting some of the engine do the work. No driver inputs for the clutch. I wish you could see that. he just sounds different. His car sounds completely different. It sounds like it's revved up and ready to go in comparison to the Ford.
Yeah, you see there, he's running second gear, and it looks very, very slow exiting, but that's going to maintain the tires there as he shifts into third. He's going to kiss the apex on the kink. He's going to brake. He's going to hold that kind of inside line, make sure he gets to the outside there. He's holding second gear again, exiting the corner here. It's going to sound like it's bogged down, but he's, like I said, he's going to keep those tires on it. He's not going to shift up. He's going to stay in second, it looks like. Yep, and he's going to get a straight exit here. Now, remember, last time through, Michael McCuskey was getting very, very loose off, and you see how tidy Hendricks is kind of coming off of that corner there, holding that second gear. So he's kind of focusing on that tire wear. You know, that first gear might be really, really good to do in like a qualifying lap, but yeah, if you maintain kind of running a higher gear when it's a little too torquey, might be for benefit. So we're going to see him go into the bus stop here. He's getting all shifting done beforehand. And he's going to kiss that inside apex perfectly. He's going to get a really, really good exit off the corner. It's just keeping the car just nice and tidy. He's not overdriving it. I think he's underdriving it in some places, which is good for the tire wear, and it's needed for you to do it throughout a long run. Going to watch him come off the banking here. He's going to wash up just to kind of maintain the speed and let it kind of spool speed, as he's letting off the throttle a little bit. Interesting.
I think he's having to let off the throttle to kind of keep his timing. I mean, he's got with a 10-second lead to Brooks, and now McCuskey's gonna a little close to the wall right there for Hendricks. As he's getting close, as he's getting down to the wire, I mean, he's keeping himself pretty stagnant, pretty. I don't know. I mean, if you overcook the engine and you have to brake heavier into the corner, he's probably just found the pattern that he has. Josh Master, good to see you out there. Appreciate you on the old YouTube platform. Hello to you as well. Hendricks doing a phenomenal job. Terry Brooks to pit road, first of the takers. As, that is going to be his green flag pit stop for the final time. As Will Jester goes around, he's going to lead pit road. Davey Hendricks out front. McCuskey's going to be in second. Al Corey up to third. And that's a good time for him, 29.6 back, as we'll start seeing a lot of the drivers take their green flag pit stops. Pit road exit here stinks.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest pit road exits, especially because you just have this corner that you can't take at pit road speed. You have to slow down, especially in these cars. And if you miss it, you're just going to smack into a wall and give yourself a whole bunch of damage, and then go around the racetrack all over again, and then pit to fix the damage that you just caused, because it's very easy to get steering damage by hitting that wall.
AJ up 12 as he gets off into the old concrete there. Going to be very high here. Campbell a little free off the corner. Same concept. Second gear for the driver. He gets into third here as he comes around. If any of these drivers are out there watching, well, you watched what Davey Hendricks did. Chance for you. Hendricks coming to pit road. McCuskey looks to be coming around. I think this is 1 or 2 for him here. Maybe not. Maybe that's going to be the start-finish line there. So I believe McCuskey's going to lead a lap. He says, give me a lap, lad. I want to have it. So he's going to come all the way around as Hendricks is on pit road. Al Corey's going to be in third here, 14.5 off of McCuskey's pace. So he's going to come to pit road. John Campbell may try to stick it out as well. We'll see what he's going to be able to do as they come around. Michael McCuskey, your new race leader, as this has been the only lead change to date.
Yeah, McCuskey, he did pass Davey, but he didn't get him before the line. Davey was past the start-finish line, exiting pit road. So, yeah, Davey is led that last lap. So if McCuskey wants to lead a lap, he's going to have to stay out another lap.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he can come to pit road. If he can come to pit road and keep Hendricks 20 seconds off, get down to pit road the right way, be a chance here he might still be able to lead the lap. We'll see what happens, but I think he's going to be a touch looking at fuel here. Davey Hendricks came to pit road, took tires and fuel, 55 seconds on. That's a whole lot of time there as they come around. So here they go. A little straightaway speed for the 22. As he needs a good little good little love here. Last lap for him, 155.98. Hendricks 201.36. A lot of that had to do with pit road.
Yeah, McCuskey, you can see his car. He's tidy through the bus stop there, so it's not a good example. But he was through that whole section. It was very, very loose. Kind of maybe a little bit too much rear lock on the brakes. Kind of entering some of the horseshoes. Was getting a lot of movement in the rear, and then kind of exiting the corners. Just kind of using that gear as he's running wide here. So it looks like he's staying out. Yeah, so he's going to stay out and lead a lap.
There it is. There's your official lap lead. He says, "I'm here and I'm listening to you. I'm gonna stay out." 16.6 back. He's gonna need to come to pit road, at least on the next lap. Hendricks is gonna be in second as John Campbell, the 117, holds a tidy third. He came out on lap 9. He's gonna be looking at it very soon as well. Terry Brooks in the 023. He's going to be solid there for fourth, so maybe a good top. I'm going to say Terry Brooks is going to have a solid second or third place finish. Nick Biddy currently came in on lap 12. His last lap, 154.93. Terry Brooks runs his fastest lap of the race last time by 151.27. A lot faster than Davey Hendricks, 221.08.
Yeah, you're seeing movement kind of out of his car on these laps. You can tell he's pushing, so he's going to get a pretty good gap here on McCuskey because McCuskey's going to be on those old tires and is going to be slow just naturally with those tires. But it's just going to be a thing of if he's going to, stay ahead of McCuskey later on in this race, he's got to make sure that in these laps he kind of knows where he is and, doesn't kind of get his head in the clouds and focuses on keeping the tires underneath of him. To where McCuskey doesn't come out on 2 lap tires, which have done an extra almost 6 miles, and have got much better wear than he does for the rest of the race. So he's just got to keep his head down and do the right thing here.
Gresham, thank you for the like out there. Appreciate you, James. Much love to you. I'm going through all the social stuff now. We've been talking about a lot about this racetrack and about what they've been doing here, and it's been super exciting. McCuskey's going to come to pit road, so Davey Hendricks will come around and say, "I want that lead back. It's mine." McCuskey down pit road's going to take his green flag pit stop. 9 laps to go, make it 8 this time by. There's going to be a lot going on here. These drivers are still going to be able to find some pace and have some fun. That's the most important. And we'll see if Hendricks can top his time he did, 150.51. I think he heard you. I think he's trying to go for your speed.
It's not a smart thing to do in the middle of a race because you're going to wear up a bunch of your tire and you're going to pay the price later on. He's got a decent enough lead to where I wouldn't be too worried about it. But yeah, maybe just trying to secure a point here for fastest lap. I do believe we get a point for fastest lap in this series. I'll go double check.
I think he'd already had it. He'd already had that one. But Harry Brooks was getting very close to touching it. So I think he said, "You know what? I'm gonna beat that by 0.7 of a second." So that's what he did. 14.6 back. The 88 is, and he's getting faster. Thank you for gifting. Oh, you had to make it an even 40. Thank you very much for gifting a sub to Connie, the Cannoli fella 13, getting a gifted sub from Dark Horizon. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I do believe my good friend Nate has looked at it and said, he's gonna keep trying to beat me here. He just had to put his dog. He had to take his dog to the vet. That was absolutely. Happy birthday to my buddy Kyle Miller out there. We call him DJ Kyle because that's what he does. His birthday today. His birthday was the 21st, but his birthday celebration was today. These races are my prior engagement. Couldn't make it to his birthday float trip. Plus, it was 107 degrees out today. That's just not something I want to be dealing with. To being on the water and being that miserable. Now, I'm not saying his birthday would have been miserable on the float trip. I'm saying that being at 107 degrees on the water with the sun beating down on you, that's miserable. So had to skip out on that today, but hopefully everybody's safe out there and being responsible adolescent big adults, because we're in our 40s. So we're big adults. We're responsible big kids. So happy birthday to Kyle. Congratulations to CJ and Caitlin on getting engaged as well from yesterday's race series. Happy birthday. If you have a birthday out there, happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating an anniversary, well, make sure that you go kiss some tush for letting you watch my race at the same time. Much love. And then, of course, if you are out there and you're having babies or getting married, well, you're all amazing. Just keep rolling. And full send life, folks. Hendricks out front, 16 and a half. John Campbell to pit road for the final time as he comes in to take his last green flag pit stops. He did go 14 laps there. That was what he is completing. Now he's going to go a lap down. Oh, he's not going a lap down yet. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, JC is one of those drivers who's very, very good at keeping the tires underneath of him. You talked about Australian stereotypes and them liking road racing, and I would say that is accurate with him as well. He likes his road racing. He likes to do some of that, like did the 24 with us as well. Always runs a Krispy Kreme car, so got him loaded up in the Cream Mobile for the remaining 7 laps of this race.
Here's an overhead look at this pit road. It's bad. Now imagine your cockpit, and you feel like this car is 75 feet wide, and that's just 70, and you feel like that's 74 and a half feet. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. But I do enjoy this series. I actually really enjoy this road course in the LMPs. The LMP1 series was a lot of fun to run here. Did the GT3s, the GTEs here. Really like Daytona Road Course. Of course, we all know that my favorite is Watkins Glen. I just like the Glen. It's just, I know it's some folks say it's easy to drive, but I don't care that it's easy to drive. It flows and feels really nicely, similar to Sonoma. Just flows and feels nice. The Nürburgring is nice and fun too. There's a lot of good road series racing. I don't think it gets enough credit, especially on iRacing. Stock cars, though, we'll just leave them on Watkins Glen. We'll be good.
Yeah, I'm going to see what it takes to get a Nordschleife race with with this league somewhere. Let's see what it would take to get that to happen.
Do it in the modifieds.
Yeah. Oh, that's a combo.
That's a combo.
that happens. That's a thing.
Yeah, I know. But it's a fast thing. It's a really fast thing. It's great though. I've seen the modifieds. Well, let's see. Week 13, not too long ago, modifieds ran Watkins Glen. The touring mods did Sonoma. That was interesting. I mean, they can run everywhere. I'm a fan of the Whelen series. I'm a fan of the ARCA series too. I think the ARCA cars need to go to more road courses as well.
Yeah. If anybody's in the Richmond area, if you have a chance to show up Friday for a modified race, they usually do. They just started doing one every year. That's the best racing you'll ever see at Richmond Raceway. It's just a good mixture of kind of a speedway race that you expect to see out of like stock cars in a mile and a half, but with the modifieds on a little 3/4 mile short track.
Have you ever seen the modifieds at Dover? That is a super speedway. I'm not even kidding. It drives like Talladega for those modifieds.
Yeah, I've done it. I don't think they've done that in real life, have they?
Yes, they have. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
No, they didn't anymore,
the Whelen series did it there. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I don't know if they've done it recently, but I do know I did watch a video on it, and so we did a Whelen at Dover test race because I was like, oh, what it drives like. So on iRacing, it drives like a super speedway, but what it looked like in real life it looked like a super speedway. Terry Brooks and McCulley are about 10 seconds apart, or not McCulley, McCuskey. Oh man, he is not Macaulay Culkin. He is,
Macaulay Culkin.
yeah, that's right. It's Michael McCuskey. I'm looking at his name and I'm trying not to call him Macaulay Culkin, or because of Michael McCuskey. It's so close, and I'm trying to be nice to him. I promise, Mike. I promise. McCuskey in third here. Nick Biddy's up to fourth, and Al Corey solid in fifth. Will Jester's about 16 seconds off of Al Corey, but Al Corey has picked up his pace a little bit. Nick Biddy as well. Nick Biddy came in on lap 12, so Al Corey's going to take over that 12th spot very soon. 4 laps to go. Nick Biddy is trying to hold on here. I mean, he came in on lap 12. That means he's, oh man, he's very close. We're 4 laps to go. That's 14 laps on that fuel cycle. So he's doing what he can here to hold on.
Yeah, Biddy got caught up in that accident early on with Oliver Turin. Just a wrong place, wrong time kind of scenario. Would have been interesting to see as we see him pull down to pit here, what he could have done. Because if he's up to 5th place, kind of on pace, that's pretty good for a result here. Maybe could have been up there challenging McCuskey for getting on the top step of the podium. Or not top step, but getting on the podium.
Well, I've seen Biddy run another series and other leagues, and I know that he's fast pretty much everywhere he goes. So very. I mean, sad to see him have that happen and have himself in that situation. But I will tell you, nothing wrong with. I mean, he's still gonna have a top 10 night tonight if he can get cleanly off pit road and have himself a good night. There goes Davey Hendricks coming around the bus stop there, getting himself 23.8 back. To Terry Brooks. Brooks just looking like he's settled in. 153.82, fastest driver on the racetrack right now. Gonna be your 3rd place driver, the 22, Michael McCuskey, 153.29 as they come around. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. Oh no, he's right. Nope, it's still the same. I went to click down and Alan Dixon's not there. Hendricks, 3 laps to go, solid, and we talked about it before the race about what to expect from the road series. You know, I really like, and I said that I really like road course racing. You always have a ringer, and then your battles usually between 2nd and 3rd, and here pretty soon that actually might be the case. 23 and the 22 closing some distance down to each other. The 22 trying to get that straightaway speed. 5 seconds into the distance here is the 0.23 here. Brooks looks to be that case, and this is not letting me down. It's actually coming to fruition. That's exactly what's going on. Second, the race is on for 2nd and 3rd, and Davey Hendricks out front putting John Campbell a lap down.
Yeah, McCuskey doing a really, really good job here, just being able to rebound. He's got 2 laps fresher tires than Brooks, so he is going to have a little bit fresher rubber. It's just to get there, is he going to have to burn it all up?
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, he's got 3 laps to go. I mean, I would. Last lap for Hendricks, 153.68. Fastest driver on the racetrack, Ollie Turin, 153.42 in 8th place. Of course, he's 131 off the pace of Davey Hendricks at the moment. That is because he came to pit road roughly about 4 laps ago. Nick Biddy in 7th now. He overtook Ollie Turin just a little while ago, and he's already put 5 seconds on him. Freshly a lap down to him. So go ahead.
Yeah, it'd be interesting here to kind of see what Biddy can do here. I don't think he could get to Jester in time, but potentially with those fresh tires and maybe Jester kind of staying out. I know it's 14 seconds, but I wouldn't say that's completely out of the realm, especially if he's as confident as he is on road courses and he's got fresh tires on.
AJ Benish and Will Jester, they've been battling it out all race long, and I should have been following him a little bit more because the 7 and the 74 have alternated positions about 3 times in the last lap. And you see Jester get himself a little higher here. I thought he was going to be a top 3 car tonight based off of what happened earlier. And then, I mean, he had found himself up there in 4th, battling back and forth with the 7 and the 42 for a moment, and the 22 for a moment. And Ooh, 7 cooks the corner there, gets a little spicy on the entrance, kind of slide jobs himself around that thing. 74 looks a little bit more clean, but it does look like AJ is trying to pull away half second the distance. 14 looks to be that way. Rob Hattenbach runs his fastest lap of the race with no hood. 154.14. See, you can make improvements, folks, no matter where you're at in the race. 2 laps to go. We're going to come around. It's going to be a backstretch central. We're going to come around to the white flag here.
Yeah, lucky for the folks at home, we don't have a scenario where the top 2 can get disqualified from the race for failing post-race tech, with this being a fixed setup iRacing league. So
I was actually getting ready. I was going to ask you about that earlier, and it was like, I don't know if that's appropriate. But Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, they better appeal that. That's what I would say.
Apparently they messed with the front fascia, did some stuff with the front fascia. That's what the things that they got busted for. As we see Davey Hendricks crossing the start-finish line here to get his white flag lap. But yeah, messing with the front fascia on a spec car is a no-no, so they could find themselves with a similar penalty to what happened to Brad Keselowski. So I don't think it's over yet.
It's 100 driver points and 100 team points, and what was the fine? It was like 60 or 50 or $60,000 fine or something like that. Plus something. Was it $100,000 fine? Terry Brooks and Michael McCoskey in that last lap. McCoskey gained 3 seconds. He's down within 2 seconds at the moment, as Davey Hendricks all but has this race in the palm of his hands. I want to see what McCoskey can do here, as a full send kind of moment is about to be upon us. 1.7, 1.6 back now. It's the 22. Slide job city comes around. What has he got to lose? I mean, he's got about 35 seconds between he and Al Corey. Al Corey in 4th right now. I'm sending it. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, he's going to have a good shot here. All he needs to do is get a good run out of the bus stop, and if he's close, he should be able to make a move. He doesn't need to get too preoccupied with passing him before then, because it looks like he's only going to have 2 corners here to kind of get close. So he needs to focus on getting close first before he can worry about passing him.
Davey Hendricks comes around. He's going to hit NASCAR 3 and 4 through the bus stop. He is going to win this one with flying colors. Terry Brooks and McCoskey coming out of 1 and 2, or NASCAR 1 and 2. So turn 7 here, as 1.5 is going to be closed down quickly. Davey Hendricks comes across the start-finish line, and he's going to win it here. He's going to do it with ease. As you see him do that, we're going to let him do that. And then, yep, he does that. We're going back to McCoskey. See, they send it out of the corner here. I want to see this race as Terry Brooks gets a nice run off the corner. I don't think McCoskey's going to have anything for him. We're going to see if there's going to be a pull in the draft here. 1.5, 1.5. He's not going to have it. Terry Brooks is going to come home second. And I tell you what, McCoskey, if he had another lap or two, that would have been very interesting. 1.4 back is McCoskey. He's going to finish 3rd. Al Corey looks solid for his head. But AJ Benish and Will Jester, they're still battling it out. The gap here, 0.4 of a second. Take a look at this as you're going to see the unofficial results kind of line up there on the other side. Into the bus stop they go. 774. Oh, Benish almost. Oh, 74 cuts the grass. No. He cut the grass.
Yeah, AJ went a little bit hot in, but he was able to get it kind of pointed and get it right on the curb and stops just to get that good run. Jester's going to get close here, but I don't think he's going to get him before the start-finish line.
He had to slow up. 74 cut the grass on the back. He had to slow up on his exit there. So he lost all that 0.3 of a second. He lost all about 3 or 4/10 of a second. Great race for those drivers. Nick Biddy's going to have 7th here pretty easily as he comes home pretty nicely. Actually, there he goes. Now he's going to make it. And the rest of the field will finish up. Oliver Turin's going to come behind. Jason Benson and Gary Sargent's going to cross the start-finish line here in a top 10 situation. And once they do, that'll be your race. Davey Hendricks takes home his 5th win of the series, showing that he is good at every style of track, from road to short track. to the mile-and-a-half super speedways. This guy has got a win at every series so far. Let me take that back. Davey Hendricks doesn't have a win at a super speedway yet. So he needs to Johnny Brugg has Talladega, Iowa. Let's see, Davey has Darlington, Texas, Charlotte, Nashville, and now of course Daytona International Road Course. So he needs that super speedway. Indianapolis is going to be next week, followed by Michigan, Watkins Glen, and then Daytona Oval for the final race of the season, folks. So we are going to go to Watkins Glen, and that is, I'm excited for that one. I'm excited. It's going to be good. Take a look at your race results on your screen, folks. Davey Hendricks, your race winner. Terry Brooks in second. McCuskey third. How's that for having the 22 and 23 up there? Al Corey's going to be in fourth. AJ Benish in fifth. Jester, Betty Turin, Benson Sargent, Campbell, Hadenbach, and Naj finishes in 13th. And Barton, John and Dustin Barton finish in 14th, 15th. Dixon 16th. Brian Cooper 17th. Hey, you got an 18th place finisher, Kyle.
Oh, hey.
Congratulations.
I tried my something.
You tried your best. And Christopher Harrison did not register. James Lawson Harris as well. Look, you beat out three other drivers. I like it. Give him the points, folks. Give him the points. Last place points for each race. He needs to finish here. He doesn't need to finish here. He's doing a great job up here. Wouldn't have it any other way. All right, let's talk to him.
My last road course result.
Let's talk to him. David Hendricks is going to be your race winner here. Congratulations. Fifth win of the series. And I was just talking about it. The only style of race you don't have a win in yet, and you only have one more shot at it, super speedway. Walk me through this one. 5 wins, impactful racing, hell of a season so far. What kind of line did you need to run? We saw a very consistent one for sure.
Oh, that was a fun race. Thanks to Kyle for talking everyone into running this version over NASCAR Road because I like not having turtles to deal with. Honestly, in practice, I felt great. Loved it. There was no issues. And then I went to qualifying, and for whatever reason, me and Kyle had talked about this before the race started, that someone had like a weird snap coming through the trial. Well, coming to my Q lap, I had that snap and just about bended into the wall. So my entire race was devoted to not having that happen and just staying on the track. So I was thankful I did that because I was definitely I was really worried about that happening again and not being able to save it.
Kyle, Dave, go ahead. Sorry, I had a long pause there. I had to take a half a second because I was coughing behind the mic. So I apologize about that. Go ahead, Kyle.
No, all good. Yeah, no, it's interesting. We didn't really see that much throughout the race. Saw it a little bit in practice with kind of some transition, just kind of getting those snaps. But yeah, you had a pretty good race there. You were able to keep the car tidy. You had some pressure in the beginning, but throughout a long run, you were able to kind of pull away there. What did you attribute to kind of having the long run pace? Like, what did you do throughout the run to make sure you kept those tires underneath your car?
I just tried not to burn up the rears too bad. Like the first couple laps, I usually stayed in first, coming out of a couple corners. But as the run got longer, I started staying in second, keeping the car out from under me. And I feel like over a long run, my tires, I mean, like they wore, but I feel like it was never that terrible. I never felt like I was uncomfortable. I never felt like the car was, crazy coming out of the corner. So it was just trying to keep it all under me, not burn off the tires and just chill. I knew I was fast, but fastest person in the world can destroy his car on one lap, and then the race is off or not. So it was just trying to be patient.
Well, patience kind of paid out for you, and moving on into the next race. So, I mean, you've got a large lead in the points, and that's of course just that's just due to just fantastic racing and what you've been able to string together here for as far as the 5 wins that you have for the season. But when you're looking at racetracks like Indianapolis next week and Michigan, very very fast tracks that one corner can end your race. Just like here, what do you have to do to be able to maintain that? So that you don't need a last place finish over the next four racetracks.
Nah, I mean, honestly, I don't mind any of these tracks. I mean, it's been honestly a year or more since I've ran Legacy Michigan, so I guess that'll take a little bit of practice. But Indy's a fun track. I love Watkins Glen. Daytona's, it's always a different kind of show by itself. But if I can get to Daytona and have my lead built up, I don't have to go into Daytona really sweating that much. I think as long as I can keep people from spinning me on the last lap out of the last corner and making it to the finish line, I think I'll be all right. I just have to watch out for misdriving by other drivers.
Defensive driving coming at you, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is, Davey. Congratulations on the win here, of course, and always. Give your shout outs, man. It's a pleasure to get to talk to you. What is that? That's I've called 4, 5. This is my 5th race calling. You won 2 of them. I like it.
Yeah. It's been like I said, I've had a good streak. Atlanta was its own little ordeal. Richmond ran into some bad times, but I mean I've had decently solid season. But I got to thank Oliver. I appreciate him sitting with me in chat so we can talk back and forth, ask how the cars are doing, keeping each other calm. I like racing with them. All the admins that put this on, all the drivers that show up every week, um, everyone watching at home, you guys up in the booth, and I think that's about it.
A big special thank you to Kyle for helping that setup out there. I know that you guys have a lot of credit for that too, to be able to help, to be able to, and to take the time. He made a video for you too, so that very awesome to see the relationship working for everybody here. It's really cool.
He still gave me a ton of crap because I didn't beat his time. So
Yeah,
now I'm kind of driven to go beat his time at some point with this setup and just
I
say I did it.
I know. I was trying to get him to edge it on. I really
I was
was.
very thankful he was up here and not in there.
Well, we were trying. You'll go back and you'll listen.
Oh, fun.
No, I mean it's all like, I mean, because to take the time out to, and that's I told him it's an attribution to his character, to be able to take the time out. Yes, he did tell me what he ran, but that's the thing, is that he ran that time. He showed you how to run that time, and he said go out there and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never really been on this track before, so a couple of his or this version before. So I needed watching that video was helpful to me. It got some breaking points that I had never run before, so it was definitely a good starting point that put me on the track to a victory. So I can't thank him enough.
Absolutely fantastic, Kyle. Anything else for our race winner?
No, man, you got 5 wins and you got 2 drop weeks, so 5 of your 6 races that will count out of the races so far have been wins. So you're sitting pretty good for the championship.
Yep, I just gotta stay being consistent. If I don't win, that's fine, but I just gotta top fives, top threes, top tens. If I can sweat that out the rest of the year, I think I'm in good shape.
I would say so. Hopefully, but we got other drivers that say, you know what, I can beat Davey. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Bring
Full
it on.
send.
I enjoy it.
I love it. Full send. Davey Hendricks, your race winner. 88 comes home, does a fantastic job, and we love to talk about it. Love to hear. Let's talk to. We got our P3 finisher in here. There's Michael McCuskey, who does a phenomenal job. We saw that you were going to be making up some ground there. I think another lap, maybe a lap and a half. You and Terry Brooks are swapping positions, but walk us through the end of that race. That was it was a good attempt for darn sure. Michael, you got a copy? Can you hear us? Make sure it's not push to talk in here. Michael, can you hear us? Kyle, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I'm just making sure. All right, I guess maybe he had to step away. He might have.
He's got He's got a new mic, so maybe he's got a new mic problem. But
Maybe. Well, we're gonna give him a moment. While we give him a moment, Kyle, takeaways from the race.
yeah, takeaways from the race is just we had a couple accidents, but most of the time we had people just we had a lot of people learning today. We had a lot of people running consistently up front. Like I said, we usually have a runner kind of up front who can kind of go out and dominate. But last couple races, even in the 87s, where tire wear is very huge, we've had more of a closing of the gap between the front and the back of the pack, with more people learning how to do road courses. So it's very good to see kind of this competitiveness. Coming through and seeing some people be able to send it out here, but yeah, Davey coming out on top, just you know, doing good as always, and just showing why he's at the top of the board. But yeah, just a good race by everyone. Very very clean after the competition caution.
22nd season, 20 years of doing this. Uh, I mean, you kind of expect this kind of racing. I know that Gary and Al they put out the standard for racing, and road series racing is kind of tough for some folks. But if you can get out there and have a little bit of fun and learn something, I think that's the big factor that I would see here. I know they're going to go to Watkins Glen here in about 3 races. And I'm a big fan of that racetrack, and I think these guys are gonna. You saw lap times here be about the 150 to 2 minute mark, 150 to 155 on average. See, we saw some two drivers just out there consistently run 2 minutes, which is fine, absolutely fine. Get yourself around the racetrack as fast as you feel comfortable. But at Watkins Glen, you're going to see the 118s, you're going to see the 116s, and that is a fast driving racetrack to get yourself around that corner. As diligently as you do, and that's saying something for what it is. Different racetrack. Everything's every racetrack's a different drive, and it was good to see this racetrack be turned the way it is. And I say 116s. I meant 143s. I think it's 143s and some change. I believe is what it is. I can't remember. Either way, it's still fast. Oh, I got you. There it is. Is that Mike?
I think so.
I just making sure. I had other screens up. Sorry. McCuskey, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations! You got a P3 finish here.
I know, pretty good. First podium of the season, though I've only done 2 races, but still, always good to be near up the front. Bit of a quiet race for me. After lap 1, when the 98 almost destroyed us, it was a good race. Pretty calm. I was a little easy on that last stint, which is why Gary got such a big gap. I didn't expect him to fade like that at the end. I think he wheel hopped it into 1, which is where I started making time on him. But overall, exciting race. Decent setup.
It looked like you were going to be full scent there at the very end. You gained about over the last 2 laps, last 3 laps, you gained about 3.5 seconds. You needed that 1.5. I was saying when you were away from the mic there that you were about a lap and a half away from being able to catch it because you were still gaining pace towards the end. What else did you need? Did you need that extra lap and a half?
Honestly, I probably just needed more practice. It took me until about halfway through the race to really figure out how to get into corners stable. That first horseshoe, the right-hander, the one you go through coming out of the pits, I didn't realize just how early you got to get on the brakes there and how much you got to feather them in to keep the car stable. So I kept trying to brake like it was a GT3 car and just being so loose in that I was losing like seconds there. But after a while, I figured out the track and started pushing, but it was a little too late. And I think Gary was also kind of backing off there at the end, knowing he had the gap.
Kyle, anything for him?
Yeah, man, you had a good race going. That's your first top 5 of the season. Your 2 other races were Charlotte and Talladega, but yeah, P3 finish. Like you said, first podium of the season. You've got a 1 win in NTRL on the Sunday stuff. Previously, I think that was season 18, I believe.
Yeah, long time ago.
But yeah, just you ran a really good race. You just did a really good job out there. When we did the Daytona 24, I remember you went all the way from rookies all the way to C class. What have you done since the Daytona 24 when it comes to road course stuff?
I've done a lot of testing, and I really like doing 87s races on road courses, but not a ton. None of the C-Class series really kind of fit what I want to do, and it's just a lot of tracks to buy. Like, I'd like to run the Indy Pro Car, but it's like I need to buy 8 tracks, so it's just not worth it. Though I've been pounding a lot of laps in a saddle course, playing online there, so I've been getting around some.
Well,
Yeah, all good experience. It's just all stuff that helps.
Mike, it's always a pleasure to be able to get you guys up here and talk to you. Glad we got your mic situation taken care of, because I like talking to all of you and making sure that you're good to go. Of course, and always your time to shine. Make sure that you give your shout outs out there, man.
Well, thank you guys. Thanks for the broadcast. See you around.
Yeah, nobody to thank. No shout outs.
I'd like to thank my mother and my father. They're really great people. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of doing this alone, so yeah. All my friends are out of town. I'm stuck doing summer research in college, so a bit bored.
But here's the research, and here's the iRacing passing the time. That's what I say.
Yep.
Always
fun.
Man.
See you guys.
Too. Mike McCuskey finishes in third. Terry Brooks is going to be in P2. He jumped in afterwards too. So let's get him a quick little rundown. Terry, walk us through it there at the end. It looked like it was going to be a battle between you, the 22, but you held off for that 1.4 second lead, 1.48 second gap at the end. Walk us through your race and how it went for you. Terry, you got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Walk us through your race, my man. Congrats on a P2 finish here.
Thank you very much. Davey just drove an amazing race. I tried everything I could think of to catch him. Even pitted early, trying to make up time on fresh tires, first lap. I think they got me back within like 10 seconds of his gap, and then he just walked away. I kept cooking the tires, especially on the downshifts. Thought Michael was going to catch me when I overshot that first corner and kind of backed it into the corner. I think I lost about 5 seconds. That was a rather scary moment. But great track, great group of guys to run with.
Yeah, Terry, you did a really, really good job tonight. Able to hold on with that P2 finish. Got a little bit of pressure there at the end. Were you worried about McCuskey coming up behind you?
I was constantly watching the split interval and him closing and closing and closing, and I knew I didn't have any tire left. I think there at the end of the run, I was down to low 80s on both rears. And I'm like, if I was worried I was going to mess up in the chicane because it was getting really free, especially trying to get back into gas. And he was making up almost 6/10 every chicane for the last 2 laps, but luckily we were able to hold on and not lose it.
Your turn, your last bus stop and your turn 12 right there was absolutely phenomenal. That's what saved that corner for sure. You nailed everything there, and that's what we were talking about toward the end of the race. Gary, congrats, of course, and always. We like to make sure that you guys get up here and have your opportunity. But one more chance for you here. Give your shout outs. Anyone you want to thank out there, and it's your time.
I'd like to thank ASC, my wife, my family, and NTRL for putting on this great series. And thank y'all for doing the broadcast. It's phenomenal.
Always, man. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing what you do. What do I say? We're at Michigan next week? Or is it Michigan next week? It's Indy next week. Sorry, I'm backwards. Indy, then Michigan. Then we're going to go to Watkins Glen. So you're going to have an opportunity here, Terry. I think Watkins might be the one that you get a little bit closer, maybe even put some pressure on Davey.
Well, I hope so. He's definitely got it this season.
It just takes 1 or 2 more races. Just 1 or 2 more races. You got that. You could sweep the field. Come on, Terry. You got it.
Hey, anything's possible. I'm almost a year into iRacing, so I'm looking forward to getting better and better every week. Running with a good group of guys makes it a lot easier to do that.
Absolutely. Terry, we'll see you next week. Congrats on a P2 finish this week.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too. That is Terry Brooks. He had a great race, and we like it. Andy Faber, thank you for the follow out there. Derek Darby, thank you for the like on the stream. Thank you for all the gifted subs and all the stuff out there. Kyle, we got to talk to them all. I was worried that we weren't going to be able to talk to everybody.
Yeah, I was preparing to say some good words about Terry Brooks and kind of that race that we had at the with the 87s at Okayama. But yeah, we're heading out to Indianapolis next week. That should be really, really interesting. Kind of a almost like a short track kind of style corner where you're just kind of focused on one line. It's not really very forgiving with that high line. So we're going to see a lot of action there.
Those Indy walls like to tear up cars pretty heavily. Especially we like to see the short stints where that 8 to 10 degree banking gets into it, especially from turn one, where they carry all that speed, they get up all that pressure, they brake heavy, and then all of a sudden you're into the wall before you get to turn two. Four corners of the tri-oval next week, and speeds in excess of 197 miles an hour for the Xfinity cars. Kyle, thank you very much. Give your thanks to your time for shout-outs, my friend.
Oh yeah, just a shout out to you for doing all the heavy lifting when it comes to the broadcast stuff, just to allow me just to speak about the race and what's going on. And yeah, shout out to NTRL and all the drivers that had a good night tonight. Specifically, of course, Davey did a really good job tonight doing what he does. Yeah, to Terry Brooks and to Michael McCuskey, both coming out and having a really, really good run here in the on a road course. Terry Brooks being good in the 87s, and Michael McCuskey just kind of resurging and coming back on the scene and doing some wonderful racing out there.
Mike had I want to call that was the perfect Talladega Nights moment where he's like, I just want to be done with it. I kind of get the same way. Been interviewed by a few people, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. It's the way it is,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands. That's right. But what a phenomenal race. He almost had it there at the end. He almost put a hurting on him. Big story though here. Al Corey. That's going to help his point situation for sure at a fourth. So we'll kind of
road course.
And he does.
Hates him.
Yeah, you can tell with that rookie license. He's like, I've ran a few. I hate it though. That's what his safety and I rating looks like. For this, I run it whenever the officials come here, and that's it. That's what it looks like. I love it. Kyle, much love to you, man. I appreciate you, and of course, I look forward to seeing you next Sunday at Indianapolis, and of course, to everybody out there. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube for Signature Esports. We're also live on the No Toad Racing League YouTube channel as well. So make sure that you do that. NTRL hits their 22nd season. We're about 4 or 5 races away from the end of this one. Actually, they go to 12. This was the 8th race, so we're officially 4 races away. Starting with Indianapolis next week, and then, of course, Michigan the week after. Then we're going to Watkins Glen, and then Daytona, I do believe, is what we're going to be. So Daytona is the final race of the season. That's insane. I've only seen that in one other league, and they're going to do it again here.
We follow the real life schedule, and that just happened to be there, and that's where the cutoff is for the season. So
I like it. Dark Races says, great show, great broadcast. You have to watch more Sunday races. Absolutely. I'm triple heading Sundays. Not today. They took an off day today. It was weird. I wasn't expecting it, but they did. But I'll be back next Sunday as well. Tomorrow night, International Virtual Racing League back at it again. They're going to run Pocono in the trucks. That's going to be a ton of fun. I really like Pocono, and I've been watching the officials. Been watching quite a few officials today too. See how the track's handling for the trucks, so I'm pretty excited about that. And they of course followed the official truck schedule, so this is gonna be their race to determine who the regular season champion is to get into the playoffs. That's gonna be a ton of fun. Then, of course, and always on the back end of the schedule, folks. Tuesday night, back at it with the Goat Racing League Truck Series. Wednesday night, Winston Throwback Series. Thursday, Chop Shop Racing League. Friday, we're gonna have our podcast. Saturday, Goat Racing League Cup Series, and then, of course, the triple header, Chop Shop Racing Next Gen, Outcast Racing Next Gen, and then back at it next Sunday for the No Toad Racing League right here on Signature Esports. Much love to you, folks. If I don't see you in the next 24 hours, we'll see you in the next one. Much love.